one married gent to another. I'm a female based.
Why can't you keep your cool as a man? That's so weak of you. If a problem comes as a 10 out of 10 in the door, by the time it goes through you and goes to your wife, it's supposed to be filtered to a 4. So if the wife calmed your heart, let the guy come and calm your brain. And then God will calm the spirit. My man, if you feel that you do love your brethren, express it now. And don't wait for his deathbed to say, Toyota, I love him. And it's like, but you never said it to him.
Men want to be vulnerable. Now that I'm married, a friend of mine is well acquainted, if not a friend of my wife.
In the vulnerability that we express with each other, we put humor to it. Truth be told, I wasn't best friends with my wife when we started out.
Yeah.
How much of a challenge it was, or in general it is, for men to come out and say, hey man, I'm struggling with pornography. But it's seen as an okay thing for men to say, hey, I struggle with alcoholism, guys. Hey, I can't do a black, yeah. Or I struggle with women. I'm just addicted to the sex.
They just laugh at me.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, do you hear the thing that you're speaking about? Why does this have so much weight over the other? Are you real right now? So in the same way, if a man can come to you and say, I was so angry, bro. I was so angry. I fought with my dad because he just made me so upset, man. Why can't you come in me and say, man, I was so sad and I and I had to cry. Those are emotions as well. So if you can villainize being sad and tears, let me villainize being angry. Why can't you keep your cool as a man? That's so weak of you. You see? It's the standard that our nature or our nurture have set. And it's so unfortunate that some voices have become louder than others because it feeds into the insecurities that we naturally just grew up with. So I want, like the rest of us, man, to be the voices that say, man, if you feel that you do love your brethren, express it now. And don't wait for his deathbed to say, Toyota, I love him. And it's like, but you never said it to him. Why do you celebrate him on his deathbed and you never celebrated him on any other occasion?
Give him his flowers while he's still breathing.
No. So yeah, man, I think that's just how I feel in terms of vulnerability and where men are. Yeah.
And like what you're saying, it's very true. Men want a space they can be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Why do I say that? Men can be vulnerable with their mothers. You find men, they can be vulnerable with their wives. Mike is there, he'll be like, you see when your girl has vision. There's that, Kamo, you'll know it. You know when she brushes your hair.
I can relate.
Father, I'm sure there was that brush and you just like, my pin is 7483. Like, you just, like, there's that, right now, this is a place of comfort. I can be vulnerable. I can let go. I can just be.
Yeah. And
so this is where you find that, like, those two examples are just enough to say men want to be vulnerable. But for me, like, I'm really convinced it's mainly what society has dictated, what society has maybe painted as a picture that we've also kind of fell to, whether it's media painting it, so your movies, you must be like Sylvester Stallone, you must be like Jason Statham, like what media portrays, what society states, whatever has been portrayed as this is the ideal picture, we are drowning under the weight of that expectation. But then the reality is we want to be vulnerable. We want to talk. We want to be heard. We want to find a space where we can break down and cry.
Yeah.
We want to have those kind of spaces. But because we are shy, we feel not empowered to be in that space, to do it in those settings with our friendships, what then happens is married guys, for example, they overload their spouses. Your spouse is now a therapist. Your spouse is now having to handle the weight of everything. everything, issue at work, financial problems, whatever the case, you are always, you get me. And I remember, it was again the conversation between Simon Sinek and Trevor Noah, and Trevor Noah said something very interesting. He was like, it's necessary and it's a good thing that I can come and gossip and say, come, hey, Marama, this. It does something. It's not just in the name of gossip. I'm coming to say, right now it's hot at home and not hot in the right way. This, that, and you can ask questions. You can probe a bit further. You can enlighten me. You can relate with me and say, look, I was facing I just came out of a similar season. Oh, we're currently in that similar space, my wife and I as well. You can encourage me. You can tell me, no, my boy, I'm hearing you, but it sounds like nonsense. Go apologize to your wife, and I can, instead of having to offload everything to her, it's unfair on her to be able to carry all of that. And so for me, it's like, okay, we need to see how we break this the stigma that has been built around men with the emotions and friendships as well, because even if there are friendships that men have, they're shallow. They're shallow. I mean, you and I, all we ever talk about is how Man United and what, and we talk about sports. No. Hey, what NBA? No. Can we be real? Or we're always talking about work. I'm always telling about the stock market. Like, nah, chief, I know we both in corporate, but can we go beyond that? Like, let's talk about raising our kids. Like, hey, I'm struggling. My kid is a teenager and they're starting to act out. They're locking themselves in their room. They don't want to talk to me. Before I used to be their best friend. And let's talk about it. Let's get into the meat of it. There's actually, which leads me to the question of, is that maybe the reason, like what I've just been speaking of, are we finding as men it more comfortable to have female friends than male friends?
I know there's like a lot of advocacy around men having female besties.
Hey, I'm coming to that one.
Let me put it this way. Women, from an anthropological standpoint, have played the character of nurturer, nurse. There's a specific vulnerability that you're only able to practice with a woman, and it's like friendships. You satisfy a specific part of being my friend, but other people get to contribute some things that I may not get from you, and vice versa. The same thing with vulnerability. There's some things that I can be vulnerable with my wife with that I may not be as vulnerable with her that I can be with you. Like, just the classic example, I'll always say, and by no means, please guys, do not take what I say for gospel. Do what accommodates your life. I always say to guys, when there's a problem that comes into my household, Bella's gonna look at this and say, I knew it. I always say, if a problem comes as a 10 out of 10 in the door, by the time it goes through you and it goes to your wife, it's supposed to be filtered to a 4. Because I feel like for a woman, there is no greater sense of security that you get from a man that doesn't panic when there's a hardship that enters. So it enters as a 10 out of 10, and it's hard wash. But when you take it to your wife, you present it as a 4. Like, oh, mama, this is what's happening, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what I'm thinking, how we tackle things, or I'm waiting for this and this. You present it in such a manner that she doesn't need to panic.
It's like he has it under control.
Like the head of the household. Is getting it under control. But when I come to you, like, I can't breathe, brother. It's hard. I'm struggling. That's I can present it to you like that. Because as men, how we engage, or the expectancy that I have with expressing vulnerability to you, is that I come to you as an individual that is going to exercise reason and logic. We're going to bounce off answers, questions, because we're natural problem solvers.
100%. With
women, it's a therapy session. Baby, tell you what's going on. I'm telling you the stuff, my baby. That's the kind of vulnerability we express with them. Now, we have coined vulnerability exclusively to what we get from women. And we don't want to exercise, or rather, the vulnerability that we express with each other, we put humor to it.
Hey.
Yeah, you know, they're going to read off me, but and then we laugh and we keep it moving. But that's a form of vulnerability. It's just that we don't call it vulnerability because vulnerability makes it sound like it's weak. There's a connotation that comes with it. So when we're with our partners or our moms, them being the natural caretakers, like from the estrogen levels and what have you, they play the part of being able to calm down what feels to be so big without trying to give you answers. Like what you said, there's a therapeutic approach that they contribute to our well-being. They calm our hearts down, you know? And if anything, they still encourage us to be our best self in terms of, no, don't worry, my baby.
It's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay. And you're going to rise up and be better than this. You're going to, you're going to conquer this thing. So that's what we've associated with what we call vulnerability. But now, as soon as we get to the guys, we don't exercise vulnerability for what it's supposed to be in terms of what you get to fulfill as my brother and receiving what I get to express as vulnerability. We don't do that. We leave it to, okay, no, I had my therapeutic session with my wife and that's all that I needed. When in reality, that's not all that you needed. I needed to exercise the conversation with him too, because comfort doesn't only come in a one-directional kind of situation. It needs to be accounted both in the emotional intelligence and the everyday today intelligence. Specific people satisfy specific things. This comes and forms one great solid form of information. So if the wife calmed your heart, let the guy come and calm your brain. And then God will calm the spirit. You know? So that's why we don't only go to the wife and say, yeah, hey, baby, today he was shouting at me at work and it was so embarrassing. And then he tells you, no, baby, don't worry. It doesn't take away from the person that you are. And next time just prepare your heart to engage in it. Then I come to you and I say, Antonio, he was shouting at me. It was so embarrassing. It was so emasculating. And then you say, Antonio, I can relate. What do you think you probably did to encourage that? Okay, so for future reference, then do you think if you satisfy this, and that before this happens, do you think that then maybe there will never be the approach? Then we get to speak and we reason. We form logic to what has already been calmed down by the heart in terms of my wife. And then I come to God and I say, yo, God, may I never have the spirit of resentment or anger. Like as the Bible said, let me be quick to forgive and slow to anger, then all of that accumulates into forming something that can barely be shaken the next time because you were able to exercise vulnerability in all forms of what it's supposed to be and you were fed by all avenues. So that's what I'm saying. The unfortunate reality is we've only coined vulnerability with what the nurture side comes from. And then because we're men, we want to come up with the answers. And you don't have the answers, Sway. We know this. Can you
You don't have the answers.
And then we start wanting to do things out of our own capacity. And then we limit God in terms of how he can act in our lives. Because vulnerability has already been exercised. I'm good. So, yeah, man. I think that's just my piece.
Oh no, I've never looked at it from that. I've never looked at it from that perspective. Like that's actually pretty crazy. Like I've never seen it in that way. Like we don't coin it as I said. No, you're not coining it as vulnerability, but it's still vulnerability. Just because you put a laugh behind it, or whatever the case is. And I think that's always just the natural thing. And it's something I'd always appreciate with James is that no matter how dire a situation is, we're gonna laugh. Like, bro,
we're stupid.
We're like we're stupid, man. Like we will find, bruh, we will find a way to laugh for any kind of situation. Like I remember my boy, Mike is gonna kill me right here. It was what is it? We were gonna go to a summer camp.
Okay.
So the homie was like, it was gonna be his first summer camp, right? And he was at home in Zambia. So he decides, you know what? I need to make a plan, because he was also working. He was meant to work in that week off camp. So he calls in at work. He's like, listen, I can't come because my grandmother just died. Makes that plan. Sharp. I'm good. Got my leave days to go to summer camp. His grandmother was already ill at the time. The day he's supposed to catch a bus, come back to SA, we were literally in the week of camp. Fortunately, grandma passes. For real.
Sure.
So boy calls me, he's like, bro, I'm no longer coming to camp. My grand just died. Hey, I'm like, tough. Offer my condolences. We already knew like granny was sick, sorry, chief. But then, not even in that same call, I'm like, Antoine, so you created a lie of killing your grandmother now. Bro, to this day, I always bring it up. I'm like, Dana, you created a lie so you can go to camp. And God was like, I will show you. But that's like how silly we can be as men. It didn't take away from the fact that, look, you actually have lost, condolences, and we grieve together. But it's like there's always going to be a way that there's going to be humor in that. And that's something I really appreciate. And what you just shared really highlighted that as well, to say it doesn't take away that it's still vulnerability just because of what it looks like when it's shared. Just because I'm going to come to be like, hey, Ntwana, hey, some debit order just took all my money, and then you're going to laugh. No, but it's actually real. I'm actually sharing with you right now something that is tough, situation that just hit me.
Yeah.
Yes, it will be in a humorous way, but it's still vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I love that. You touched on this, and I told you I'm coming back. Abo female pasty.
Okay.
Abo female pasty. No, I want to hear your take on this. And one married gent to another. Abo female pasty.
This one is a pretty sour topic. Not that I mind sharing, by the way.
Yeah.
It's just that I had to learn the hard way, so to say.
Ish.
I've always coined myself as the village idiot because I was so oblivious to so many things. Whenever I got into, to be fair, a little bit still to this day, it's just that I'm a little bit more mindful now because I have a helper. But I never got into relationships with people and said, yeah, he's my friend, but he's a guy. She's my friend, but she's a girl. It's always been friend, and that's it. And it was upon getting into my relationship with my wife that I needed to see or learn the hard way. In that, as soon as you engage in specific responsibilities in life, there needs to be boundaries in place. And I didn't decipher or discern in the moment that the boundaries that I set for guys are going to be a little bit different to girls.
Yeah.
Simply because there's a need to protect the partner that you're with.
Yeah.
There will always be something that may invoke some discomfort towards your partner, be it intentional or otherwise. Obviously, I want to assume everything is unintentional that hurts the next person that you care about.
Yeah.
But I had to learn that the hard way. In that, when I was single, my guy friends would call me at like 11. Or they would come and chill in my room at like midnight.
Yeah, we're boys.
And yeah, we're chatting,
Sure.
all these things.
Put on the PlayStation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And some of them may even, like, I had sponges in my room.
We crash. Yeah.
When I was single, girls used to do the same thing. My friends used to do the same thing. I swear down. They would pull through on my 11. I remember when I was a lab assistant tutor at school. At SMU. I would mark some scripts and then, like, I just say, I can't go through all of this by myself. It's a lot of work. And I'd invite some of my female friends to come and assist me mark and everything. And then from there, we just chill. We laugh about things. We watch things. We conversate as if I'm speaking to any other guy up until the AMs. then obviously the one thing that was never made unclear was that we can't crash on the same bed and banana. Just you need to balance. Yeah, go. So yeah, around by 4 a.m. then they would leave, and we would have chilled, and that would have been awesome. And then when I got into my relationship, yeah, gents, I can't be with you guys all the time because now part of my job is to go to my partner.
And that's fair.
Yeah. Same thing with the girls. Guys, I can't be. But the problem that I did was in that was essentially the only boundary that I put in place. The time element, but not the manner or the quality of how we still hang around. So if my friends couldn't call me at 11, now if they could call me at 11, now you can't call me at 11. Call me at 7, 8. Because from 8, I'm probably on a call with my partner.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah, the last call of the day is with her. Yeah.
And I put sort of like the same disclaimer to my female friends.
Yeah.
To say, before 8. But then in hindsight, and I'm like, boundaries were supposed to look a little bit different because now you're in a relationship and you never want to put them in any or expose them to any kind of discomfort. And I was very ignorant towards that. I learned the hard way. But with that being said, there's a manner that I learned to introduce my friends to my partner in such a manner that doesn't disrespect her or put her in any kind of discomfort. In that from the get-go, whatever kind of relationship you establish with anyone being of a different sex, introduce them to your partner. Let them know the nature of your relationship. Let them know how it started and so on and so forth. Just for example, your wife, Zintle. I consider her to be one of the closest people to my heart right now. And the comfort with my friendship with her is because I know that she's friends with my wife. Obviously, this is not me saying, Zintle left, she's at home, and I know I'm twice in Durban. I come to my house and spend the week. I need to observe that she's still someone's wife and respect those boundaries. But there's a comfort in me knowing that when on a random day, I can just check up on her. The sister to my brother, how have you been? How's my nephew there? Have you guys been well? Look forward to seeing you. I love you, sis. And then we keep it moving. Those kind of relationships, I didn't have the wisdom, just now with the benefit of hindsight, I didn't have the wisdom nor the discernment. Hey man, I was the village idiot, guys. I didn't have that wisdom to practice that at that time. But now I know how to introduce relationships to my wife. And because we've spent so many years of me knowing her, I know what would offend her. I know what she appreciates. I know what she doesn't appreciate. Those are the kind of things that I also evaluate when I'm establishing those kind of relationships. Now, let me just hit the nail on the head and answer the question, because I'm sure a lot of people watching is like, he didn't. Is it okay?
Yes or no?
I genuinely believe that it is okay for men and women to be best friends. I do believe that it is okay. This is also warranted by the fact that these same people have an open relationship in that they're not keeping their friendship a secret to anybody, because that's already a recipe for disaster, already just beginning there. Secondly, please do let your feelings be known. For some reason, we love exploring relationships with people that we know are our romantic types. And then later on,
it just kind of happened.
I never expected it. It's like, what do you mean? Let's be realistic. You know that you have a type, man. You know that there's a specific romantic essence to an individual that you're in conversation with. You just know. Be honest about that from the get-go, and conversate that and put it on the table so that both of you guys are aware that you're never being caught off guard. Now, when it comes to people that are married, having a female best friend can be tricky. for sure. But I believe that it can still work. The major responsibility needs to come from the guy, in that it's your responsibility to introduce these two people to each other. Number two, whenever you guys are together, let that be known. Number three, don't put yourself in compromising positions. Like, if ever I have a female best friend, my wife knows about it, that's cool. I'm never gonna be in like in the auditorium in that.
We're not going to watch a movie.
What are you doing? On now? What do you mean? Exercise the relationship within boundaries. You don't go to the movies by yourself. Come on. But that doesn't mean you can't go with other people and still exercise the quality of your friendship.
Yeah.
The quality doesn't mean to die. It's the boundaries surrounding the relationship that need to be exercised and be mindful of. So I genuinely believe that you can make it work.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Me, I think, you said you're the village idiot.
Yeah.
Me, I'm the modern day idiot. You know when they say, when they say, how far is too far?
Yeah.
I don't want to see far.
Oh gosh.
Me, I'm like, where's the line? How close can I play to the line? Me, I'm like, I want to be so far, I can't even see the line.
What's that?
What's a line?
Spell it fast.
So I did also fall into that naivety for a moment in terms of friendships, but I think also maybe the awareness, it did come much earlier. So I got radical way earlier with it. Because like similar to you, had friends like, like my female friends would call me Abo babe. Nah? And it's the friendly babe. It's not the babe of like, oh, Muntu, hey. I kid you not. Oh, hi, babe, and Jadi. Like, bruh, I don't know why there's those. I don't know if it's a KZN thing or it's just general. Because these are the friends I had in KZN. And I saw it when I started dating my wife.
Okay.
I dating at the time. Before we even dated, when we were now talking and it was intentional, I told her, listen, Anna, I'm feeling you. When we, we're in that courtship, just before we started officially dating, I had a moment of thinking, I'm like, if that friend were to meet Anna, like what would happen? Like, imagine they video call me and she's here and then she's like, hey, babe. I'm like, yeah, it's not going to fly, So already at that point, I was like, I need to already have the chat. Before we even go into, I need to already distinguish and set the boundaries at that point.
Yeah.
And then I think to that, already understanding that's where the mindset changed for me as well. I was like, I think it was because of the discomfort it brought. Having to have that conversation with those friends where it's like, our friendship was of this nature.
Yeah.
And we were both fine and comfortable because also we knew very well. We had defined it very well, like in intentions behind it. We knew what was going on. It was, for me at least, uncomfortable to now have to change it.
Yeah.
And now it must be of a lesser degree. That was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was almost like in a way you're ripping off a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
And so learning that and having experienced that, I was like, let me rather establish the boundaries way in the beginning. Let it not get to that point, and then must now be watered down later on. So then for me, I was like, Ntwana, my best friend was my mom, my sister, and my wife. And if the Lord blesses me with daughters, those are my princesses.
Yeah.
But outside of that, we can be well acquainted, we can be friends. But it's already the friendship I have with my male friends is different from the relationship the friendship I will have with a female.
Yeah.
And now that I'm married, a friend of mine is well acquainted, if not a friend of my wife. That's it. Because also for me, I'm just like, there's no way you're going to dislike my wife and like me. Forget it. That's to become one.
Yes.
So if you don't like her, you don't like me. And same for her. Always, I'm like, if there's a friend of yours doesn't like me, they're not your friend.
Where?
How?
Which one?
It doesn't happen. You can be the friend of one and not the other. We are one. You have to be the friend of both of us. Yes. You get me? So I'm not saying, be a chummy or same level. No. That's what I'm saying. You can be acquainted and know them very well, and you can be in a room. You can be in a room with them. Yeah. then we're good.
Don't
You get me?
Some table and
Yeah, you get me. And then for me, the reason, and then this, and then for me, the reason why then I say, Rana, I run from the line. I want to see the line.
Yeah.
Is that me? I know myself. Now this one's personal to me.
Sure.
I know myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, Rana. I think we spoke before we started recording. I was like, I think we talked around types and what. I'm like, Dwana, you think I had type? You think I had a type? Me, it's a female. We can talk. You get me? I'm like, it's we can talk. You get me? So for that mere fact, I know myself. I'm not gonna fool myself.
Fair.
I'm not gonna fool myself.
Yeah.
Married or not, I'm not gonna fool myself. So for the sake of me knowing myself,
balance.
let's just you get me?
Don't expose yourself to
100%.
I agree with that. I also say, in terms of my friendships, for as long as my wife finds it difficult, like let's say, for example, just the practical sense of the friendship. If I called you my best friend before I got into a relationship or I got married, the title of you still being the best friend is not going to water down because of the dynamic of life that I'm stepping into.
Yeah.
It just means how we orchestrate that friendship is going to
look different. Okay.
If anything, a lot more different.
Yeah.
By reason, obviously, to observe the institution that you decided to go into. So this means we're essentially maybe not going to call as much, if not at all.
Yeah.
Even meeting from time to time might be difficult. And even when we do meet, I'm going to be meeting you with my partner, most likely.
Yeah.
Or like specific circumstances that bring us together. But how we used to best friend is going to look completely different.
Yeah.
And that's what I need you to be okay with. So if my wife is okay with that and my best friend is okay with that, then let that be the nature of the relationship. That's just how it is. But if my wife comes to me and she says, I feel that your friend is struggling to realize it's like for the mere fact that my wife is coming to me to tell me that is already a problem. I'm supposed to evaluate that. If my best friend struggles to accommodate where I am in life, if they don't have a desire to meet and be well acquainted with my wife, to be a protector of my wife, to be in prayer towards my wife, and what my wife and I are starting in a marriage
It's been a pleasure. Goodbye.
I'm fine, thanks, and you. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
And I love what you said about being best friends with your wife. Because truth be told, I wasn't best friends with my wife when we started out. She said she was best friends with me, but hey, hey man, I love you and stuff. Moving. And she only became my best friend after a while, bro.
Yeah.
Probably like a few months after we got married. And mind you, before that, we had been dating for 5 years.
Sure.
And she was like, you're not. So it was hard for her to hear me say that I have female best friends.
And then she's not.
She wasn't.
Sure.
And also, guys, that's why I'm saying you're Village Idiot of the Year every year. I didn't communicate it in the best way possible. And I was very immature, man. To this day, I still have some kind of immaturity that I, needs working on. But I really could have been a better partner for her.
Yeah.
And the fact that she still decided to stick with me makes me feel like my reward of being in this institution is consistently being renewed in my mind every single morning.
Yeah.
I wake up and I look at her, I'm like, why can't she choose me, man? I need to get it together, guys. Dog. Simply because I know I failed her so many times. To this day, there are a few moments when I do blind and I'm like, why are you still here? I always tell her that she deserves far much more than me, but I want to believe that I'm the next best thing. I don't believe there'll ever be a guy that, like...
You set the standard.
But anyway,
Yeah.
How I orchestrated my language around her being my best friend wasn't the best. And as much as I've been Christian for 15 years now, even in that moment, I still wanted to argue as if I was still atheist. I still wanted to put logic and reasoning into why she wasn't my best friend, and I didn't choose my words to accommodate her feelings. I genuinely failed her. But that's also because I didn't have people in my life at that time that were in committed, serious relationships
And we're gonna say Zwana.
that were going to balance me also. And that also came into factoring as to why some friendships were seasonal and why we genuinely do need to be in one accord
Yeah,
if we're going
yeah.
to do life together. And it was only after a while, man, where I understood, even before she wasn't your best friend, did you need to treat her as though she was?
Eesh.
You know, this is somebody that's like going all out for you, man. Had I had a voice of reason, had I had someone like you, someone that was in a relationship for the long run, that was seeing a future with somebody as my friend, and had I been able to exercise that vulnerability with you, of which in that time I believe I would have, but you were not in my life at that time.
Yeah.
I believe you would have voiced it to me and said, I hear you, Ndwana, you're an idiot. Go back to your wife, apologize, and don't say, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. Have an apology that is tailor-made to accommodate her being okay with you again. And make her realize that she's the best thing that's ever happened to you, and that you take back everything. That's what a friend does. It's saying, but you're right. Is she your best friend, yes or no? Not your best friend, yes or no?
You even go to get. What is your problem?
No, talk to me. What is leave him alone. He's not your best friend, you know? So yeah, like
Yeah.
she became my best friend now. And man, if you're in relations with like in a romantic relationship with somebody, maybe the foundation of how you guys started off wasn't on a friendship basis, like how I started. It was like, so
How are you?
you know, I immediately wanted to be in a romantic relationship with her.
Yeah.
And I established the friendship afterwards, and then she became my best friend.
Yeah.
But eventually your partner is supposed to become your best friend.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because what I've established with my best friends, your Sfisos, your Terons, your Lepohonolos of the world, like, you know, people that are considered to be my best friends, they want it all for me and my people. So your wife will forever be somebody that wants that for you, and I believe you always want that for your wife.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice. She's supposed to be your best friend for sure.
Nah.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
My brother, this was amazing. I always wrap it up here. Last question. Always wrap it up like this.
Okay.
And that is, what man is... Of course. No, of course. It has to be Ronaldo. It has to be.
For me, it's Ronaldo BMW, man. But anyway. Sorry, you were saying.
What man is Kamo becoming?
What man is a Kamo becoming?
Kamo, this man that I'm sitting across. What man is he becoming?
I'm not gonna lie to you and pretend like I have an answer for that, my friend.
Yeah.
I don't believe that I do. What kind of a man is Kamo becoming? Brother, that's a very deep question.
Yeah.
In that it begs the question as to where am I required to be a man? And what am I required to be a man for? The biggest thing, the biggest priority in me becoming a man, first and foremost, is becoming a man of God. That's the biggest man. That's the man that I want to fulfill. Becoming a man of God, a God-fearing man. The second one is being the best man in terms of being a husband for my wife. The third being a man in terms of a father for my daughter. So it's hard for me to piece together. I guess maybe to round all of that off, I would say to be an intentionally present man. I'm becoming an intentionally present man. Present in my ministry. Fearing God and continuing to spread his gospel. being present intentionally as a husband for my wife, being what she needs and not what I think she needs, leading her in a manner that will never deter her or regret from deciding to choose me back as her wife and make her the happiest person alive. And being present for my daughter in making her realize that she never needs to fear men as much as the climate of this world says otherwise. Knowing that fathers are supposed to be present and you're not supposed to thank me for being present in your life as a father. It's standard procedure. It's not a gift for me to be around. I'm supposed to be around. Knowing that the standard and the quality of what a man is supposed to look like can be set by myself, and that you never need to limit yourself in saying, he's not as great as my dad, but he will work. Let him be as great, if not greater than your dad, because God knows I have my faults.
Yeah.
But there's no denying that I will never deny my daughter anything in the world, and I will love her more than anyone in the world, maybe next to her mom. So just being intentionally present in all those aspects, and making sure that I'm the best God-fearing man, I'm the best husband for my wife, I'm the best father to my daughter. Yeah.
I will. I'll say this much. You are an intentionally present friend. So thank you so much. This was a lovely conversation. I appreciate it so much, Mitchell.
Thanks for having me, Manchomi.